Orchid Funny Facts. Orchid 25 Funny Facts. Here are facts about orchids. The word orchid comes from the Greek word orchis, which means testicle. The orchid's roots resemble testicles, so the name stuck. Orchids are the largest family of flowering plants in the world, with over 25,000 species. Some orchids have evolved to look like insects, which helps them attract pollinators. Orchids can live for over 100 years. Vanilla flavoring comes from the seed pod of an orchid. Orchids have been used in traditional medicine for thousands of years. Some orchids have a symbiotic relationship with fungi, which helps them absorb nutrients from the soil. Orchids can grow anywhere from sea level to 17,000 feet above sea level. Some orchids are so small that they can only be seen under a microscope. Orchids are used in perfumes, cosmetics, and even some foods. The smallest orchid in the world is less than a millimeter long. Some orchids can mimic the scent of female insects to lure male insects for pollination. Orchids are the most popular houseplant in the world. The largest orchid in the world is the Grammatophyllum speciosum, which can grow up to 10 feet tall. Orchids have been around for over 100 million years. Orchids can be found on every continent except for Antarctica. The orchid is the national flower of countries such as Colombia, Costa Rica, and Singapore. Orchids have a reputation for being difficult to grow, but some species are actually quite easy to care for. Some orchids have translucent leaves that allow light to pass through to their roots. Orchids were once so rare and valuable that people risked their lives to collect them. Orchids have been used in traditional Chinese medicine to treat everything from coughs to impotence. Orchids were used in Aztec ceremonies as a symbol of strength and power. Some orchids can take up to 15 years to bloom for the first time. Orchids come in a wide variety of colors including purple, white, pink, yellow, and green. The famous scientist Charles Darwin was a big fan of orchids and even wrote a book about them.